All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Teresa Croyd with Naturalist with the Woodbury County Conservation Board. We're here at the Dorothy Pico Nature Center today for our live animal lunchtime, which I'm sorry is going to be a little deceiving today because we are actually not going to feed our live featured animal today because she does not usually eat on cue or camera for us. Today we are meeting Scarlet, our permanently injured red-tailed hawk. She came to the Nature Center in 2013, and we got her from Kay Newman, who runs the organization SOAR, which stands for Saving Our Avian Resources. So Kay and her organization, they do raptor rehabilitation and education. She does a lot of work with bald eagles and lead poisoning, but rehabilitates all types of raptors, which means a bird of prey. And those are examples of eagles, hawks, owls, vultures, and falcons. So Scarlet came into her with a wing injury, her right wing. You should be able to see she kind of hangs that down just a little bit. And these feathers, I'm not going to point to her because we don't want her to jump, but you can see that wing droops just a little bit. She was actually shot and had a bullet wound in her right wing. We don't know if it was an accident. We don't know if it was on purpose. All we could see is the results that happened. It is illegal to shoot any bird unless it is one that you can hunt, like pheasant, turkey, ducks, geese, that type of bird, quail. All songbirds and other birds are protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, and we have to have educational permits to have these birds here. And since she was injured and cannot fly anymore, she can kind of hop her way around her enclosure, which is behind me, but she cannot fly and catch her own food or care for herself in the wild anymore. So we have to, quote unquote, catch her food for her and give her things like mice, rabbits. We do feed her chicks just because they are a little less expensive. Most of the time she gets mice though. In the wild, red-tailed hawks eat a variety of foods, most of which consist of mammals such as rodents like mice or rats. They will also eat things like moles and voles. They can catch a squirrel or a rabbit. They can also catch some larger animals and sometimes even snakes. I know I live in the country and every once in a while I'll see a red tail with a snake dangling in its talons. So they can catch a variety of animals to eat. They are completely predators and only eat other animals. You can see her beak is curved and hooked, and her talons there, her feet are very sharp. So she will use her talons to catch her food and then her beak to tear it apart. All right. Red-tailed hawks are the most common hawk that we can find across North America and the United States and into Canada. They tend to nest just about everywhere, and you can find them, especially if you take a drive along the highway into the country. They really like kind of the open spaces between trees and fields. They will nest high up in the canopy of a tree and typically have 1 to 5 eggs for a clutch. To identify red-tailed hawks can be a little bit tricky because there are a variety of color variations. Scarlet is a very dark colored red-tail, so she has the brown and rusty colors. And I'll see if I can turn her just a little bit so you can see her beautiful dark tail. And here we go, sweeties. Climb back up. Sometimes she does not like to sit all the way. We are outside today. There. Hopefully you got to see her tail just a little bit. It matches the color of her chest, is very kind of a deep red, rusty color. And she is very dark on her head and her shoulders and back and wings. So there are some red tails that are very light in color, and others that can be even darker than she is. But you can always look for them soaring or perching on a telephone pole or a fence post. That's the best way to find them. Oh, let's see, what else? The oldest red-tailed hawk in the wild was a little over 30 years old. And I believe the oldest one in captivity, so that would have been injured bird, was 28 years old. So Scarlet has lived here at the Nature Center for 7 years. I believe she was with Kay for 6 months or so before that, and we estimate her age between 20 and 22. And we could tell that partly by the color of her feathers. As they molt, they tend to come in a little bit darker each year. You can see her dark brown eyes, hopefully. Red tails have great eyesight, kind of like an eagle does. And they can see from a long ways away so that they can soar high in the air and then find their food. We hope that you can come visit Scarlet. The Nature Center is not open yet inside the building, but Scarlet's enclosure is visible outside the building. If you walk behind our building along our sidewalk trail, you can see her and our permanently injured owl, Harlan, and you can say hello to them as they are outside all of the time. And we hope that you can come see her or watch for a red-tailed hawk somewhere near you. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope that you can come back next week for our live animal lunchtime next Thursday, where we will feature Walt, our fox snake.